Okay, people. So it's January 19th, 2018. You see this little house? This is one of these houses up and down this street. Do you see those signs? Okay. Sometimes there could be up to 8 or 9 signs out here in terms of houses selling, and it's the same houses people selling 3-4 times a year. Now, technically, this stuff that's going on is illegal. It's unscrupulous. It's unethical. What's going on? There's a name for it. Shadow something. See, these ones here just sold. These ones are selling 3-4 times a year. This is what is pushing up the property taxes. This is what is pushing up the housing market. And the people that are buying these houses are not moving in, and if they are, they're moving in very temporarily, or they're just keeping them as rentals. Because this one here just sold 4 months ago. Okay? And now we got another one over here. It's the same houses on the same block, selling over and over and over again. Nobody is building houses. No houses are being torn down yet, because on this side, the city has put some kind of moratorium, because behind these houses, what's happening is they're going to try and turn it into some sort of a green belt, because it's an old runoff that doesn't run off to anywhere anymore in terms of water drainage, right? And they're going to try and build in these high rises and whatever else all up and through here. So they're keeping this little waterway that as a green park area. So that's why these houses not so much for sale, because they can't sell as much as they're selling on this side. This side, the people can get what they ask for. This side, there's a cap on it because they're connected to that runoff, right? See, there's another one. Do you see that, people? There's another one. Hold on. Do you see? Hold on. Go dance. Okay, people, so I'm back home now. It is January 19th, 2018. The first thing I want to say is, Andrew, if you're watching this video, seriously, man, I'm telling you, I know Uncle John is just a speck on the wall for you. I know that my children are just a speck on the wall in terms of like just a little flake of dust. Just blow it away. I know my grandchild means nothing to you because he's not your grandchild. Right? I know that the people that I work with aren't the type of people that you associate with, being that you're a lawyer and I'm just a common folk. So, in other words, we don't share the same interests. Right, when it comes to community wellness. Right? But I had some people tell me today that basically my daughter is having to be Narcaned daily. And she's dying. She's dying every day because of the failed healthcare system, Andrew. If Andrew is watching my videos, Andrew knows who he is. And I'm just reminding him that for him it's a job, for me it's my life. It is the life of my children. It is the life of my stepdad. It is the life of my grandson. It is the life of my friends and associates. And I have another grandson, so just because he's a baby doesn't mean he doesn't count. So at any moment I can get a knock on the door, someone coming to my door to inform me that my daughter is dead because of a failed healthcare system. Because under all these acts, rules, and regulations that I'm in the process of having a no debate with the Fraser Health Authority Corporation, because it wants to protect its criminal activity within its criminal organization that fools the public into thinking that healthcare is a public service, when in fact it is not. Because if it was a public service, my daughter wouldn't be dying every day having to be Narcaned, as these useless acts that are in place in order to help her to stabilize with her life are being ignored because she's poor, unlike my stepdad, who was robbed of his assets and then made mentally incompetent so he couldn't talk about it or fight and defend himself. As you slander me with your suppositions of sexually abusing an old man. Like, how pathetic is that? Doctors won't commit my daughter for psychiatric assessment because she's got 2 legs that she can walk out of the hospital with. But they made sure John couldn't get up out of the freaking wheelchair because they gave him a bunch of medication without telling him about it, without telling and misleading his immediate family about it, as they connived behind his back, hacked into his bank account, mail fraud, appointed themselves representative, thought I was dumb and stupid, and then tucked him away like a dirty secret. And let my daughter walk out the door to die out in the fucking streets. Because they can't generate an income from her. Andrew, the corporation that you represent can't generate an income from my daughter, so therefore they are failing my daughter just as much as they failed my stepdad, just as much as they failed my family, who is Mr. John Bernard Duncan's immediate family. So I heard you showed up at court today. Why are you following me around? This isn't Facebook. This is real life. My videos represent real life. And it just so happened that your corporation entwined itself into my videos. Your corporation poisoned my videos like your corporation poisons my family. And it's not any service that I want to use. And I don't use it. I try to avoid your corporation. So maybe tomorrow my daughter will be dead. It'll be one less problem for Fraser Health Authority and its board of directors. One less problem for the taxpayers, even though it's the taxpayers who are being raped and pillaged when they get old of their houses and their assets and then being tucked away in these fucking old folks' home and forgotten about. Andrew! You may be unpassionate, but I'm passionate. And I don't apologize for that. And as for this following me around on Facebook at the fucking courthouse, first of all, let me tell you something about this appeal, people. Forget about Andrew. Okay. I get a piece of paper from the corporation saying that I'm supposed to sign it because the judge said so. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sign it until I go downtown and I talk to the 1 or 2 or 3 people that I can actually trust within the system to give me reasonable advice. In terms of advice that I can trust. As everybody keeps throwing pro bono at me. Well, here's you can go see. No, I don't want nothing to do with pro bono. I like the people that I'm dealing with. Thank you very much. I can trust those people. They're not qualified, but at least they're fucking honest. So, but of course, you know, I didn't get down there until January 4th. But I didn't know that Andrew was going on holidays. So I'm putting in my appeal. But I don't have $200 for an appeal. Right? So I'm going to put in a motion. I guess I have to put in a motion first to ask to put the appeal in with the waiver so I don't have to pay the $200. But I don't get the appeal yet, people. There's no set date for the appeal. Okay? I have to do the motion first. It was booked for the 19th. This is how it went. It was booked for the 19th, which is what's today at 9:30. But the lady, when I was doing all this paperwork at that time, January 4th, she told me that I couldn't, if I didn't hand in that paper that needed to be signed by the lawyer and that paper that needed to be signed by the judge, I'd already signed it, and after I left that courthouse, I went to the corporation and I dropped off the piece of paper with my signature on it, and that's when I found out that the lawyer was gone until the 15th. But in the meantime, the lady at the courthouse in the appeal place there, she told me that if I didn't fax in that piece of paper with the lawyer's signature, the judge's signature, and my signature, that I couldn't do what I needed to do on the 19th. That's the way I heard it, people. Plus, get this one. I see this camera. I don't know if there's something wrong with it, but anyway. Plus, you know how I'm watering everything down? Well, I find out today that whatever I did, because I did it yesterday, I took 7 pages and I brought it down to 1, 2, 3, and a bit. Well, guess what? It doesn't even apply to what I'm trying to do with this motion. I wouldn't even put it in with the motion. It goes in with the something else that I need 4 copies of, where I can write 30 pages now. Now I'm allowed to write 30 pages, people. What the fuck did I just do this for? Because this has nothing to do with the motion. She said, oh, no, you don't put that in there. Well, why did the last lady tell me to bring it down to 3.5 pages? Well, you're not allowed 3 pages, but the last lady told me I could have 3.5 pages. Are you listening, Andrew? Well, you were supposed to be there this morning. The lawyer was in there looking for you. I said, what do you mean the lawyer was in there looking for me? The last lady I talked to said that if those things weren't faxed in, this piece of paper and that other paper that the lawyer sent me with that needed my signature, his signature, and the judge's signature, that I couldn't do the motion. So I didn't go today in the morning. Because I was thinking that if I didn't fax those things into her by the 11th, there would be no motion. I'd have to go back and reapply for a different date. I didn't know I had court today, in other words. And I didn't know that instead of bringing it down to 3.5 pages, I could actually write it up to 30. Like, fuck, man. And she's telling me after you get everything all together, we'll give you a little thing for pro bono. I said, forget the pro bono. I don't want nothing to do with pro bono. Not at this point. If Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce settles out of court, I will hire a lawyer. Trust me, I will hire a lawyer. Don't forget, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce was asking me what I wanted. I might get that lawyer yet. And then wouldn't Andrew just have fun? So anyway, now I have to put together some factum. And it's got to be in multiples of 4. And I'm like rolling my eyes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? With all those papers? My original notice of claim? Now I can see why it's so cumbersome to have it written so much. But the thing about Andrew and this corporation, what they failed to realize is, yes, when I was writing it for the judge. Because I wanted the judge to see that there was an actual real case here where maybe the board directors to that corporation aren't like criminally fucking, cuckoo in the head, but those employees in these fucking work environments are definitely something wrong with them, and that's why we have overseers to make sure that criminal activity in a civilized society doesn't go unchecked. So I gave them enough information to see it, but they can see it, but they're running away from it, people. And if I gave it to the judge, did I not give it to the corporations to follow up on what was in those notice of claims? In terms of, it's a mystery. Let's solve the mystery. I'm there 4 o'clock in the morning writing a mystery story, people. Do you remember those videos? Oh my God, this is a mystery. I feel like I'm writing a mystery story. Here's another clue. Here's another clue. Put the clue in for the judge. Put the clue in for the corporation. And what do? I get beat up over it. As my daughter is dying on the streets, and they want to sit up there and say that they have a good fucking corporation. Andrew? Like I said, I know you don't think my family means nothing in the great grand scheme of fucking billions of fucking dollars that you represent. I'm 55 years old. I'll see you in 5 years from now.